Okay, thanks everybody for sticking around. Before, just a couple comments on our next head coach, Jon Sumrall from Tulane. So 9-3 on the year, 7-1 in the conference, and it's their third straight championship game appearance at Tulane. Even though it's Jon's first championship appearance as a coach at Tulane, he's very familiar with championship games. He's been in 3 straight going back to his last couple of years at Troy. The Green Wave also led the conference with 18 All-American Athletic Conference selections, which is the most in the league by a long shot, including a good handful on the first team. So the last thing I would say is just with Coach Munkin leaving and Jon coming in, we couldn't have 2 better men and 2 better representatives of who we are as a conference than these 2 coaches, and I think it's incredibly fitting that they're competing for this trophy tomorrow night for the championship game. So with that, I'll bring Jon up to make some comments.
Appreciate you, bro. Thanks. Yep. Start with the opening statement. Yeah, appreciate y'all hanging in there. We're a little bit behind. Travel's been a little hectic today. We were getting ready to land in Newark. We circled for about 45 minutes waiting to taxi in or get in with the traffic we had. But I'm excited to be here. Grateful to be playing a conference championship game. Told our guys this week, there's 9 FBS conference championship games. You're one of 18 teams playing. That's special. Playing football this time of year is very special, and I'm proud of our guys for their effort all year. Look forward to a great game. Have a ton of respect for Jeff and his football team and this university, what they're about. West Point have had the privilege of playing against them last year. It's always a physical, blue-collar, hard-fought game, and they do a tremendous job. Such great representatives of our league. I'd like to thank our conference and Commissioner Pernetti and his staff for, it's been an awesome year. Really appreciated everything this league has provided for our guys, and look forward to going and playing a game tomorrow night. So with that, we'll open it up.
Coach, good. Ken Kraetzer, CaMMVetsMedia, welcome to West Point. I know you've been here before. Tell us a little bit about general preparation of your team this week, how you got ready, and then getting set to travel up here to New York.
Yeah, so normal week, we played Thursday last week on Thanksgiving night, and gave them a day or 2 off really, and then treated it like a normal game. We couldn't really use extra days because I think this point in the year, you guys are beat up enough that you have to be smart about how you practice. We flew up today, and our guys are actually finishing practice. I had to come up here and leave early. They're practicing not far from the airport at an undisclosed location. But we had our Friday run through. We do a Thursday walkthrough and a Friday run through. So today's Friday in our world. Even though I know tomorrow's Friday, we treat it like game day Saturday. So our guys just finished up their run through. Been a good week of work. The challenges that West Point, the team they present, schematically are real, and they're really talented. And so it's been a challenging week getting ready for these guys.
Thank you.
Our next one will be back inside.
There we go. Lijay Doozle, how you doing, Coach?
Good. You?
How has your team responded after a tough week versus Memphis last week? Kind of asked this to Coach Munkin earlier, and I know I talked to you earlier when I called the game. The last thing you want is a team to beat you 2 weeks in a row. So how has the energy and preparation been this week for your team?
Yeah, you can't let one become 2. That's something we talk about a lot. Definitely had a bad taste in our mouth. Didn't play our best last time we went out. Really was frustrated and disappointed. Our whole team was. Didn't represent our program the right way. It's been a good week though. I think once we got into the flow of the normal week, our guys have had great energy, have been really focused and dialed in. It's fun watching them fly around. I wanted them to run around up here in a little bit cooler weather. It's not this cool in New Orleans, and so the energy's been good. I think if you can't get excited about playing, I don't care what happened last week. If you can't get excited about playing the conference championship game, you got a problem. You know what I mean? So we should have no motivation issues.
Also back inside.
Now it's working. You mentioned just running around in that cooler weather. Is that something that you talk about with your team? It's supposed to be pretty cold and windy, a little bit different weather than New Orleans, or is it just something that you're trying to push through?
I bring it up. I anything that could get brought up to them, I bring up so I can control the narrative, to be quite honest with you. I don't want anybody else telling them, hey, it's gonna be cold, and then think, oh gosh, it's gonna be cold. Well, yeah, it's gonna be cold. We did our off-season training back in January, February, and I've got some clips of when we were doing our workout at 25 degrees in t-shirts. And so, should not have an effect. I mean, on our guys' readiness to play. You do have to take it into consideration, I think, with maybe some throwing and catching situations. And I don't think it's going to be as windy today, looking at the forecast, as it was this afternoon down here. But the wind a lot of times can play a big part of the kicking game and the throw game as well.
Another one in the back.
Just getting back to last week, Coach, defensive-minded coach. I know you couldn't have been happy about the run defense and giving up as many yards as you did. This is an outfit that's a prolific run game. What's been the message to your defense to get back on track, to make sure everybody's in their gaps right? The alley defender is taking a proper angle, and then also mitigating the missed tackles, because this is a team that's physical and runs hard.
Well, the key was missed tackles. We didn't tackle the ball great last week, and this Army team, what they do running the football is very impressive. It starts with their quarterback. He's a load, man. He's like a linebacker, body type. He's a big, strong guy. I got a lot of respect for him. We got to tackle well. We got to gang tackle. We got to wrap up. We got to leverage the football properly, and you got to do your job. That's probably the thing that Army challenges you on differently than some people is you have to be sound at different spots that you don't maybe know where the ball is going to be at certain times. And so it's not all three back options. Some of it is, but there's a lot of different things they present. They're tough to get ready for. But the biggest thing we can control is tackle better. It wasn't like the run game last week. They just had nobody within, several yards of the back and you ran free. It's like guys just didn't finish the tackle. So we got to tackle better.
Gary here.
Hi, Gary Smith, Miller.com. By the way, my plane only had to wait 5 minutes and we were already on the ground. So
We should have run with you, brother. We should have gotten on your plane, man.
Your run game wasn't the same as it has been all year against Memphis. Obviously, Memphis was really talented, but was there anything more than just guys just not winning blocks that they have done most of the year?
Yeah, some of it was on the O-line. Some of it was not on the O-line. It was maybe on a back or a tight end. We did not play our brand of football last week, in that phase either. And so it wasn't our day. We have to play a lot better in that area if we want to have any success tomorrow.
Coach, Jerry Mentz has been good for you all season. At what point did you know that he was the guy that you were going to roll with?
Yeah, Gary and the New Orleans folks have heard this, but when I took the job, I had no idea who he was. And really, the first time I even heard his name was from Michael Pratt, our quarterback last year. And Pratt mispronounced his name the first time we started talking about it. He was calling him Mensah. And I'm like, who's this Mensah kid? And, redshirted last year, didn't play any games. About midway through spring, I'm kind of like, all right, I like what I see in this guy. He's young, and I told our local media, I said, he's going to be a really good player. Probably not right now. Now's probably not quite his time, but I see something in this guy. And went through the summer, and really I didn't think he was quite in the quarterback competition yet. I thought it was two other guys. And about 8 days into training camp, I walked in our offensive staff room, and I just asked everybody, I said, who's playing the best, one at a time? I said, no group think, give me your honest opinion. And everybody in the room said, Mensah. And so we're cowards if we don't start him, because the only reason not to start him is he's never played in a college football game. I don't care. Let's make the right call here. And he's just worked incredibly hard. He's very consistent. He's a force multiplier. What I mean by that is he makes other people around him better. It's not just what he is on his own, but he makes others better. And he's got great anticipation on the throw lanes. He sees it good coverage-wise typically. He's improving as a runner. He's not like, I kid around, he had a touchdown against Navy running. I called him Michael Vick that week. And he's not a run-first player. He's a pocket thrower, passer that has a better ability to run probably than people recognize. But I'm just proud of his growth and development. He's got a long way to go still. He's got to get stronger. This offseason will be big for him. But he's come a long way, and I think probably you felt that he was going to be a good player. I don't know that I was quite ready to say he's our guy until about our second scrimmage at training camp. And I was like, all right, I'm all in. Let's go.
Any other questions? I think we're good.
That it? Come on, man. Oh, you got one?
Well, yeah, well, Coach, I was just going to ask you a little bit about Army's offensive line. What you see, all 5 players were first or second team in the conference.
Strong, physical, play extremely hard. They're well coached, play with good technique. You can tell they're veteran. I'm, a lot of the guys I remember from last year, they're just really, really good. They are physical group, and they execute at a high level. They're really good up front. I think they get a lot of attention offensively because of maybe the scheme, but I think one thing that gets overlooked is not the scheme covering up for an O-line. It's good scheme matched with a great O-line who moves the line of scrimmage, knocks people off the ball, plays with physicality. So really think highly of that group. They're very talented.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Coach.
You go. Appreciate you.
We'll do a picture with Coach Sumrall and Commissioner.
Where are we?
You're just gonna stand on that side.